Hey folks, did you hear? Durham Region is going to have an Auditor General. Now, golly, why would that be? Maybe because of egregious overspending when it comes to the taxpayer dime. I'm with Lisa Robinson. She is a councillor with Pickering, which is part of Durham Region. And you might recall a few days ago, we brought a report to you in which Lisa and I visited Durham Region. You see, they've got this swank headquarters in Whitby, and we took a ride in the $1 million revolving door. I swear, check out the footage. So this is a $1 million.
Please move forward.
Oh, it's kind of rude, isn't it? It's like
it's telling you what to do.
Yeah. Well, we are moving forward.
We'll
I mean,
stop for a second.
if you don't walk fast enough, you know.
Yes.
Please move forward.
I'll tell you, folks, this revolving door reminds me of HAL, the computer in 2001: A Space Odyssey. If it doesn't like your behavior in a automated fashion, it's going to tell you so. Like, please move forward. Evidently, Councillor Robinson and I were not walking fast enough.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Well, Lisa Robinson, let it never be said that David Menzies doesn't know how to show a gal a good time, eh? Did that feel like a $1 million ride to you?
Not quite. But I did like the way that it talked to us when we stopped and paused for a second. It basically yelled at us and told us to keep moving, didn't it?
Yeah, it was like the murderer's computer HAL in 2001: A Space Odyssey. But what I'm getting at now, it might be an absolute sheer coincidence, but just days after our piece aired about the $1 million revolving door, the Durham Region announced we're going to have an Auditor General. I guess the question is this, Lisa, was it maybe a coincidence, and more importantly, will this even mean anything? Will the Durham Region be a tad more responsible in spending money?
I think they will be a tad more responsible because having this Auditor General has worked in other places, like, in Toronto, for example, where they were able to find over $376 million of wasteful spending of the taxpayer dollars. So we're hoping that here in the region of Durham, we're going to be able to do the same thing. I was actually there speaking as a delegate just a few months prior because, we need more transparency and accountability all throughout Durham Region.
100%. And for the city of Toronto, I think, Elisa, going back more than 10 years ago when the dearly departed Rob Ford was running for mayor, he had, I think, one of the best political slogans of our young century, which was respect for taxpayers. And he would, go crazy if he found out there was a city facility in Toronto under his watch that installed a $1 million revolving door. So, if this Auditor General can find places to save money, and I would suggest you don't really have to look all that hard. South of the border, when Elon Musk came on board, Team Trump put in Doge. My goodness, the billions of dollars of completely wasteful spending he was able to do, or identify in a matter of days. And that brings me to something you told me off camera. You were suggesting kind of like a Doge department for the city of Pickering. How did that go?
Yeah, I did want to bring forward a Department of Government of Efficiency within the city of Pickering. And I tried to bring forward a notice of motion last October, and nobody would second my motion.
Why?
Well, that I really can't answer. You're going to have to ask them. But I haven't had them second a lot of them. Some might say, as the mayor said, maybe it's a messenger and not the message. But we do have a lot of...
Wait a minute. What does that mean?
Yeah, that he actually said that openly in a council meeting when, I was trying to get him to bring forward these other other notices of motions. I have over 32 that have not come forward or seen the light of day. And the mayor actually admitted that maybe it's the messenger and not the message.
So in other words, the idea has merit, but because there is, well, there's no other word for it, Lisa, a vendetta against you by the mayor and your fellow councillors. Therefore, we're not going to endorse this idea. Is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, they would rather reject a good idea, even if it's beneficial for the people of Pickering.
Wow.
Instead of seeing me have something get pushed through. I mean, I have tried numerous things, David. Like I said, as we just said here for the Dodge, but there's also things like, I wanted to bring forward a notice of motion that we would play the national anthem before all council meetings. And I tried for over 7 months to get it played. And they refused it. My whole entire council refused to second that motion. But then all of a sudden, when the elbows up crowd came up, then all of a sudden we started, the mayor put through on an agenda item to play the national anthem. But what he did, and this is very, very sneaky, and this is what they do in government, is that he mixed it in with a whole bunch of other things that they wanted to bring forward, things that they knew that I would be opposed against because they were very draconian measures. And so I actually ended up having to vote against the national anthem because they would not even separate it so I could vote on it separately.
Unbelievable. And sadly, Lisa, I'm not surprised by this story of dropping O Canada. The city I live in, Richmond Hill, years ago, dropped the national anthem too. And the ostensible policy reason, well, it has the word God in it, and therefore an atheist or agnostic might be offended. Can you believe this?
I can definitely believe that. I'm surprised that they haven't, attacked our Charter of Rights and Freedoms as of yet for saying the supremacy of God is the highest there is, or, our federal buildings that has scriptures.
Yes.
All over the building on the bricks.
It's amazing you say that, Lisa, because as I demonstrated when I did a report about this, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms is posted in Richmond Hill Council, and it does have the G word in it. So, it's just utter madness. But anyways, final thoughts as to where does the Auditor General for Durham Region begin, looking for waste?
I think one of the first places that they should start looking for waste would be in the consultants. Yes. There seems to be an abundant amount of consultants. I don't know how many millions of dollars is wasted year after year or throughout the years, on consultants. It just seems that everything that you do, you need a consultant for. So if that was the case, then why do we have staff? Because, we have staff that might be like engineers and whatnot who should be capable, and I'm pretty confident that they are capable of doing the job, but then they outsource to a consultant. I think that is one of the very first places that they need to start.
You're so right, Lisa. And as far as I'm concerned, these consultants, let's call them what they really are, unofficial bureaucrats. And when it comes to the bureaucracy, as you know, what is rule number one? Grow the bureaucracy. And this is an unofficial way, a sneaky way of doing it. So I think you're right. You go after the consultants. For me, folks, if I had the ear of the Auditor General of Durham Region, I would say, we can't do anything about that $1 million revolving door. It's been bought and paid for by your tax dollars, of course, folks. But how about this? Market it as a tourist attraction for Durham Region. Hey, folks, when you're passing by Whitby, come see Durham Region. We've got a $1 million headquarters because really, when you think about it, a $1 million revolving door, it doesn't belong in a municipal region's headquarters. It belongs as an exhibit at Ripley's, believe it or not. Hey folks, I know you love it when Rebel News brings you the other side of the story, but the fact is we need your help. Unlike the trained SEALs in the mainstream media, we don't get a single nickel of Mark Carney's journalism slush fund. So here's where you come in. Can you do me a favor? Can you go to rebelfieldreports.com? That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you're able to, kindly make a donation.